TALtalks introduces Zuza Bohley, who serves as the Education Director and Deputy Director of Americas for Conservation plus the Arts, commonly known as AFC+A. AFC+A is a non-profit organization making a significant impact in both Colorado and Puerto Rico, with global reach. After earning her master's degree, Zuza relocated to Colorado. Her exceptional linguistic abilities, spanning proficiency in 16 different languages, including German, English, and Spanish, have been instrumental in her journey. For over 2 decades, Zuza has been devoted to teaching in private and bilingual schools and has been an active volunteer with several prominent nonprofit organizations in Colorado, including the Rocky Mountain Peace and Justice Center, Intercambio de Comunidades, Friendship City Projects, and the Parent Engagement Network. She is deeply passionate about community outreach and empowerment and finds immense satisfaction in working with the younger generation. AFC+A is on a relentless mission to foster an inclusive and culturally relevant approach to conservation education, breaking down barriers and addressing the needs of historically underserved and underrepresented communities in the environmental movement. Join us to hear Zuza elaborate on the profound impact of AFC+A in this regard.
Hello everybody. Thank you so much for actually inviting me here and giving this opportunity to speak to you today about love for nature and becoming mycelium. I want to talk more about how to approach relationships and trust building and how important it is for all the work we do. As a matter of fact, it is more important that that's the only way that we can grow and that we can resource funnel. To tell you a little bit about myself, I'm looking at myself as a wallflower. I was displaced at age 14 and deported on gunpoint from East Germany. And I lived in a refugee camp. I'm a survivor of sexual assault. I'm always have been more of an observer to stay safe, and I don't like to stay in the limelight like this, but I'm doing it for the cause. One of the most important things is that I do connect with all my relations. That is not only people or celebrities or people that are important to me, but also the entire beings on our planet. That is plants, birds, wildlife, and so on. My refuge always has been in nature, because nature has been my teacher and my master. Because I've learned interconnectedness, and as you see here, the roots of all trees interconnect. Feeling of community, feeling in unity with others and with the world around us. Finding community, for me, was not easy. I was deported, kind of ripped out of a safe space, and then needed to find my community, and I chose to come to the US with a Fulbright scholarship, and then had to find another community, and moving wherever, you need to find community, and one of the ways to do that is to look for people that resemble your lived experience. Find common interests and shared values. You can do that in your neighborhood or through speaking different languages. I first also want to foremost acknowledge the ancestors of these lands that are unconceded lands, of homelands of the Ute, Cheyenne, and Arapaho people, as well as 28 star nations. I want to acknowledge that we're here as part of nature, connecting actually with all of our relations, and being part of nature is one of our core values. Americas for Conservation and the Arts springboarded the flagship program, Promotores Verdes, that literally means translated green ambassadors, but we're actually nature health workers. It follows the idea coined by Paulo Freire in the Pedagogy of the Oppressed, of the community health workers, but adds to meaning and expands it to also include stewardship of the lands, leadership, as well as natural literacy instead of environmental literacy. So, promotores verdes are advocates for health, nature, and conservation within that nexus. Families engage outdoors, promote public lands and conservation, and we're working a lot with Latino families as well as people or families with indigenous roots, refugees and immigrants, because that is the community closest to my heart because of my lived experience and in affinity to my husband, who is from Mexico originally. So we connect human health with ecology and offer career pathways for families to gain skills to then become facilitators and gain employment and improve their everyday economic lives. We inspire civic engagement and stewardship action. So what is so unique about Promotores Verdes? We have open invitations. We are flexible and inclusive. We work a lot, quite a bit, with parents with children with disabilities who are left out all the time, out of that space to participate in regular activities in society. We lead by example and always say that nature is our teacher. Here I have a picture of one of the community tree plantings that we're working on right now. We are actually contracted by the city of Denver, the Climate Action, Sustainability and Resilience Office, to plant 1,000 trees a year for the next 7 years. In addition to that, we have an environmental justice grant from the Colorado Department of Public Health that basically sponsors tree plantings in Aurora. In both of these cities, the tree plantings are connected to being a climate action on lowering the heat island effect and bringing greater health to the communities, because the tree plantings are focused in areas that of communities that are highly disenfranchised, in that they're low income, highly industrialized, very contaminated, and really there is really no access to health. They don't have any health centers or other things like that. And we have been planting trees at people's homes in Denver, Aurora, Commerce City, at the Highline Canal, Longmont, and Boulder. And we also plant them not only at people's homes, but also at schools, because many parents and students from schools have come to us and lamented, we cannot go outside. Sometimes we have to be stuck inside all day long. And we cannot go outside because it's too hot. And so we are trying to change that picture. Planting, we also have been planting and restoring trees with mycelium forest patches. So whatever tree we plant, we add a special mycelium forest patch to build resilience. And that same forest patch can be used to actually restore mature trees. So if you look here at the mycelium, that is the roots of mushrooms, looks very similar to the brain synapses. And as a matter of fact, mycelium is called the brain of nature, or the wood wide web, kind of like our internet. So Love for Nature is a coalition of interdisciplinary experts with very diverse backgrounds. I work with NCAR, Rising Voices, I work with the universities, work with schools, communities, other nonprofit organizations like Wildland Restoration Volunteers, the Youth Exploring Stewardship, connecting with so many other organizations and agencies that are doing similar work, and that I try to become mycelium myself. What are we doing? Our goal is to advance planetary health and practice purposeful mutualism, because that is what mycelium can teach us. So what we do, we work with indigenous knowledge and science, heal the soil, plant water, restore ecosystems, and restoring our relationships with nature as well as self-care. Here is a picture of that we developed, all the hands coming in from diverse backgrounds and from diverse knowledges coming in together to be in service to Mother Earth. And not really looking at the divisions, but looking at how can we complement each other and actually have a greater impact. So for the tree restoration with mycelium infused and microorganism-used forest patches, we basically do biomimicry. That means we're layering amendments, natural amendments, that would be, let's say, 3 years of layering of earth. So the first part is laying a circle around the tree along the drip line with kind of a radial arrangement similar to what the tree already does himself. And then we fill that with wood chips. After the wood chips comes a layer of compost that is microorganism rich, and a layer of leaves, and we have several layers of that, so that every time it rains or the tree gets water, it's like a medicinal tea for the roots, because we infuse that layering with different types of mycelium. And primarily here in Denver with the salt-loving Bernardii, salt-loving mushroom, because we have a lot of pine trees that are dying because of reclaimed waters being used for watering. So mycelium forest patches are a nature-based, sustainable, and low-cost solution. We have been restoring more than 19 trees in 1 year, and it saved the city of Denver $450,000. Because these trees were flagged to be removed and cut down, mature trees. And by simply establishing these forest patches, they are now the thriving trees in the park. So it improves the soil, you see fresh needle growth, it improves the entire ecosystem and resilience. So, as I already mentioned, we amend liabilities of waste and turn them into assets. So with the Denver tree plantings and Aurora tree plantings, these tree plantings are happening through an equity lens. Because for Americas for Conservation and the Arts, equity is at the center of our work. And so I listed here a little bit of the Sustainable Development Goals, because if you look at it from just the facts, so action to climate change, life on land, good health and well-being, sustainability, sustainable cities and communities, as well as responsible consumption, is what the cities want to do. The ripple effect of social impact is education. We teach tree workshops. We actually teach local residents how to plant the trees, how to care for the trees, how to monitor the trees, and how to heal the trees. So they become change agents within their own community, rather than just marionettes and puppets of experiencing the change within. This is also helping to curb hunger, because many of the trees we're planting are actually fruit trees. Then it has automatic economic impact, and most of our promotores verdes are actually women with children, and we allow them to come and teach or work with their children together, because we do events with families. That's why I showed you the picture with the kids. That was a tree planting in a park in Commerce City. You saw more kids than adults. The kids help, and they learn it, and they grow up, and they basically embody this. We're doing this work because equal access to health, climate, and economic benefits of trees is a human right. Just like the mycelium, which helps trees interact and cooperate, the urban mycelium, or even rural mycelium, is an invisible human dynamic that is really important to consider when you try to grow or try to even survive the nonprofit world. Building relationships and trust is here at the center, and here I want to show you a little bit my way of mycelium. I haven't even listed all of them. This is just the major groups that I'm on a daily basis interacting and collaborating with. Because of my background, I come really from the United Nations, because without Amnesty International, I don't know if my family would be alive, because we were sold as political prisoners during the Cold War to West Germany. And for me, I still see the United Nations as one of the possible solutions. There's a lot of problems with it. However, at least we are all coming together and trying to find solutions on a global level. So the calls to action is join Love for Nature for the upcoming community events. You can volunteer to plant trees in Denver or Aurora, October 14th, 21st, and 30th. You can run or walk our first Luna, which stands for Latino Ultra Nature Adventure, which is self-care, but also drawing attention to the growth in social injustice and environmental injustice happening at Gross Reservoir with the expansion of it. On October 22nd, restore the Louisville ecosystem by building resilience and wildfire restoration in November, and join the Americas Latino Eco Festival in November. That will be happening here at the Western Stock Show. You can volunteer to restore mature trees in Aurora, Commerce City, Boulder, etc. If you have a school or you want some trees in your homes or in your neighborhood, you can contact us and collaborate or partner with Love for Nature, AFCA, or Promotores Verdes. So here I have actually 6 emails, but I only put 3 up here, because I need to keep the things separate and yet they cross over. And that's what I wanted to leave you with. Let's try to be more like mycelium, learn from it, because it's such a mutualistic partner of being able to fortify ecosystems. Thank you.